Pakura. Alright, let's kick things off with someone whose power literally evaporates people. Pakura from the Hidden Sand wasn't around for long in the war, but when she appeared, she left an impression. She had Scorch Release, a deadly kekkei genkai that dried out the water inside your body. One touch, and your organs turn into sandpaper. In the Fourth Great Ninja War, Kabuto brought her back mainly to fill out the ranks. She didn't get a flashy entrance or long fight scenes, but trust me, she had the tools. Her power wasn't just cool, it was brutal. She could one-shot weaker ninjas without blinking. Kabuto wasn't picking random shinobi, he brought in specialists. Pakura's role was to show that even side characters can be terrifying with the right abilities.
Now, if you've made it this far, welcome to the amazing world of anime. This is the place for true fans like you, where we celebrate all the magic, action, and emotions anime brings to our lives. You've watched, you've felt the hype, you've been lost in these beautiful fantasy worlds, but, have you hit that subscribe button yet? Right now, almost 90% of you are watching without subscribing. Just imagine, if everyone hit sub, we could build one of the strongest anime communities out there. So, go ahead, click that subscribe button right now, so you won't miss any new episodes, deep dive breakdowns, or awesome anime content coming your way. Thank you so much.
Toroi. Now let's fly over to the hidden cloud. Toroi's magnetism isn't just a metaphor. He literally throws magnetized shuriken that stick to you like bad decisions in your ninja past. He got revived along with Pakura and Gari. Same rank, same blink and you'll miss him kind of appearance. But here's the thing. Toroi's magnet release gives him battlefield control. He can mess with enemy weapons, disable movement, and pin you down while others finish the job. He's not flashy, but he's efficient. It's like if a ninja became a walking electromagnet of doom. Gari. Alright, next on the list. Gari from the Hidden Stone. His fists don't just punch, you explode. Not emotionally like Sakura, literally. Gari uses Explosion Release, a kekkei genkai, that lets him set off mini bombs on contact. Boom, instant regret. Just like Pakura and Toroi, Gari got brought back during the war to add variety to Kabuto's Undead collection. And yeah, he didn't exactly get a Nobel Prize in screen time either. But what he lacks in dialogue, he makes up for in firepower. In raw destructive force, he might actually edge them out slightly. Explosion Release is flashy and devastating, perfect for large-scale battles. But again, he's got no major kills, no big plot moments, and not even a tragic backstory to make us cry a little. Chio. Now we're getting to someone with real history. Chio of the Sand wasn't just another support ninja, she's a legend. This is the lady who went toe-to-toe with Hanzo and even gave Sakumo Hatake, the White Fang, a run for his money. That's elite-level respect right there. During the war, Kabuto brought her back without her puppets. Yeah, no puppets. That's like bringing back Itachi without the Sharingan. Huge nerf. But even with that handicap, her presence alone meant something. She wasn't there to fight, but to show how deep Kabuto's roster went. The old guard was rising again.
Asuma. Let's talk about a fan favorite, Asuma Sarutobi, the chain-smoking, wind-blade-wielding sensei who trained Team 10. This guy took on Haiden, held his ground, and died with honor. That scene still stings. In the Fourth Great Ninja War, Kabuto brought him back as a psychological weapon more than anything. Facing your former teacher who's now undead? That's trauma with a capital T. He wasn't overpowered or flashy, but he was a top-tier Junin with solid fundamentals. Asuma's strength lies in his chakra blades and wind release. He was precise, deadly in close combat, and knew how to read the battlefield. His duel with Haiden wasn't a one-on-one win, but it proved he belonged among the elite. Zabuza. Let's cut through the fog and talk about Zabuza. You know the name, you know the sword. This is the guy who came back in the war, mist everywhere, eyes glowing, and started slicing like it was episode 6 again. Zabuza might not be a Kage-level threat, but man, he's memorable. He's the only one of the 7 ninja swordsmen who fought Kakashi twice and lived to be reanimated. His demon mist aura made his movements faster, his swings heavier, and the whole battlefield creepy. Even in Edo form, he was a problem. He jumped into action, coordinated with Haku, and forced Kakashi to sweat. That alone puts him above shinobi like Hiyashi, who barely moved. Haku. Now we're talking about Haku may look calm and gentle, but underneath that pretty face is Ice Release, one of the rarest and deadliest kekkei genkai in the series. Zabuza himself admitted Haku was stronger than him, and that's saying a lot. In the early Naruto days, Haku held back against Naruto and Sasuke, but even then, he was overwhelming. He blitzed both of them using his demonic ice mirrors, striking from all directions like a ghost. He could have killed them easily if he went all out. When Kabuto brought him back, Haku wasn't messing around. He teamed up with Zabuza again, this time with no restraints. His speed and precision were insane. This was a full potential Haku, and it showed. Dan. Okay, we're slowing down a bit here. Dan Kato, the man who stole Tsunade's heart and almost became Hokage. Keyword, almost. Dan got revived with one very unique jutsu, spirit transformation technique. His soul literally flies out of his body. That sounds cool on paper, and it kinda is. He used it once in the war and managed to save Tsunade, which was sweet. But combat-wise, yeah, not great. He got clapped by a no-name Junin shortly after. That hurts the resume. Keikuzu. Ah yes, Keikuzu. The eternal argument starter. Some fans think he's underrated, others say he's weak, but the truth, he's terrifying in concept, and still a force in Edo Tensei form. Keikuzu's Earth Grudge Fear technique lets him steal and store hearts, granting him 5 elemental chakra styles and near immortality. He was basically a walking final boss for Team 10. Oh, and he once fought the first Hokage. Well, claimed to. But hey, he lived long enough to tell the tale. In the war, Kakuzu came back as a durable, multi-type fighter who just wouldn't go down. His flexibility made him unpredictable. He could shoot lightning, earth spikes, fire, you name it. And he didn't rely on fancy eyes or forbidden seals. Sasori. Sasori is back, but this time, he's nerfed hard. When Kabuto brought him back in Edo Tensei, I expected Iron Sand, puppet carnage, and his creepy immortal body. What did we get? A guy who didn't even have his puppet body, or his puppets. That's like reviving a chef without a kitchen. Still, Sasori isn't just any ninja. Back when he was alive, this guy turned humans into weapons, made a puppet out of the 3rd Kazekage, and even transformed himself into a living puppet. He was terrifying. His battlefield control and poison tactics were unmatched. Deidara. Alright, now let's talk about everyone's favorite pyromaniac. Deidara came back from the grave with a smile and a bang. And unlike Sasori, he wasn't nerfed too hard. His clay bombs were still dangerous. His C0, yeah, the self-destruct nuke move, was still in play. Terrifying. Deidara's biggest strength? Range, mobility, and insane area of effect. He flies, bombs, and taunts you while dodging like a maniac. He doesn't need to be close. If you let him stay airborne too long, he'll turn the whole map into dust. In the war, he gave the allied shinobi forces some real problems. And being immortal in Edo Tensei made him even more reckless. Perfect combo for a guy who believes explosions are art. Hanzo. Hanzo of the Salamander. The man who named the legendary Sannin after fighting them and surviving. He used to be a war god, but in Edo Tensei, he's more like a cautionary tale. Here's what happened. Kabuto brought Hanzo back, but this version lacked his legendary fire, literally and mentally. He got outclassed by Mifune, a samurai. Why? Because he hesitated. Because his resolve was gone. That alone cost him the fight. But don't let that fool you. At his peak, Hanzo was untouchable. He used poison, speed, and insane tactics. He even fought the Sannin trio at once. That's no small feat. The only reason his rank isn't higher is because we never saw his full prime, only a weakened shell. Han. Time for some Jinchuriki action. Han, the Five Tails host, wasn't just big, he was a powerhouse. In the Fourth Great Ninja War, he was controlled like one of Obito's 6 paths of pain. And man, he didn't disappoint. Han's specialty is boil release, a brutal mix of steam and acid. Combine that with his insane physical strength and durability, and you've got yourself a walking tank. He kicked Naruto so hard it shook the battlefield. That's not an exaggeration. That's documented war history. Among the revived Jinchuriki, Han was the strongest in terms of raw force. He charged straight into battle, smashing everything in sight. His style wasn't fancy. It was direct, aggressive, and destructive. Yugito. Yugito ni. She's the Jinchuriki of Matatabi, the Two Tails, and comes from the Hidden Cloud. Killer B respected her. That's already a big deal. In the war, Yugito was revived and added to Obito's zombie team. She didn't get a lot of spotlight, but her speed and combat style stood out. She used Matatabi's flame chakra and moved fast enough to pressure elite opponents. Her close-range combat was sharp and precise. She had everything: power, grace, and chakra cloak. But she didn't have major duels or story relevance. That's what drops her ranking. Roshi. Roshi is one of those guys who shows up, throws hands, and then disappears before anyone gets a second look. He's the Jinchuriki of the Four Tails, Son Goku, and he comes from the Hidden Stone Village. This man didn't just have tailed beast chakra, he had lava release, and he used it like a beast. During the war, he clashed with Naruto and KCM, and, yep, he managed to burn him. That alone puts Roshi on the radar. Lava release is no joke. It's high-level chakra control, and Roshi uses it for big, sweeping attacks. Perfect for turning the battlefield into a lava pit. But here's the thing, Roshi didn't really do much else. No epic moments, no big monologues, just punches and lava. That's cool, but not enough. Yagura. Yagura's got that rare combo, Jinchuriki and Mizukage. Sounds broken, right? Sadly, not really. He was the Three Tails host and the fourth Mizukage of the Mist, but his Edo Tensei version felt more like an NPC than a final boss. He had tailed beast chakra, leadership skills, and the look of a teenage prodigy, but no real combat feats, no flashy jutsu, no devastating attacks. Nothing that screamed, "This guy ruled a village." Fu. Fu is kind of underrated, and I get why. She didn't have a lot of screen time, but what we did see was interesting. She's the Jinchuriki of the Seven Tails, and she's fast, like really fast. She dodged attacks from KCM Naruto, and that's no easy feat. Her abilities include flight, enhanced mobility, and probably some insane reaction speed. But again, no big moments, no one-on-one duels, no major jutsu to analyze. Utakata. Utakata is kind of chill. Too chill, maybe. He's the Six Tails Jinchuriki from the Mist, and while he got more love in the anime than the manga, he still didn't shine much. His unique ability? Bubble release. Yep, he fights with bubbles. But don't laugh too soon. These things can explode and track opponents, and in the anime, he even had some solid taijutsu. Kinkaku and Ginkaku. Now here's a curveball, Kinkaku and Ginkaku, aka the Gold and Silver Brothers. These two lunatics once took on the second Raikage and Tobirama, and walked away alive. That's kind of insane. They're not even Jinchuriki, but they have Nine Tails chakra from eating its flesh. Gross. And they wield the treasure tools of the Sage of Six Paths. Sounds OP, right? And yet. During the war, they got taken out by Shikamaru and Choji. Yup, that happened. Strategy wins again. Their strength lies in raw power, but their biggest weakness is lack of brains. These guys are tough but reckless. A smart team can take them down if they exploit their mistakes. Third Raikage. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Third Raikage is a monster. This guy didn't just lead the Hidden Cloud Village, he went full-on anime protagonist, and fought a tailed beast solo for 3 days and 3 nights. In the war, Edo Tensei gave him immortality, which, honestly, just made him even scarier. He was already nearly unkillable when alive. Now, try piercing skin tougher than armor, powered by lightning release armor at max speed. He tanked Rasen shurikens like they were feathers, and the only reason he was defeated was because they used his own attack against him. Second Tsuchikage. Mu doesn't talk much, but his jutsu screams destruction. As the second Tsuchikage, he had Dust Release, the kekkei toda that literally erases people on a molecular level. Yeah, that kind of broken. And it gets worse. He can turn invisible and erase his chakra signature. Sneaky and deadly? That's a dangerous combo. But in the war, Mu kind of fizzled out. He was sealed pretty quickly and didn't get to flex those terrifying powers to their full potential. No big duel, no dramatic last stand. Second Mizukage. If Mu is deadly serious, Gengetsu is his sarcastic opposite. This guy basically trolled the allied shinobi forces during the war, while dead. And I love that energy. He uses a giant clam to create mirages and throws in explosive clones that confuse and blow up everything. His battle with Gaara? Absolute chaos. He was toying with the entire army while cracking jokes. But like Mu, he didn't get a full power showcase. Lots of potential, but not enough battlefield domination to push him past third Reikage. He's flashy, tricky, and unique, but not the strongest. Fourth Kazekage. Rasa is Gaara's father, and the guy who thought sealing a tailed beast in his son was the peak of parenting. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. As the fourth Kazekage, Rasa used gold dust, a variation of magnet release. It's basically sand control, but shinier and heavier. He was powerful, no doubt, but let's be honest. He got clapped pretty early in the war. Hiruzen. Ah yes, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, nicknamed the professor for mastering nearly every jutsu in the leaf. When he came back during the war, expectations were high, but the results were mixed. Sure, he showed off Earth-style clones, elemental combos, and insane versatility. But he never really got a spotlight moment like Tobirama or Minato. He was there, just not there. Still, you can't ignore Hiruzen's experience. He's got chakra control, elemental mastery, summoning jutsu, and decades of battle wisdom. If leadership was a stat, he'd be maxed out. Tobirama. Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, is that guy who created like half the jutsu you're scared of. Shadow Clone? That's him. Edo Tensei? Also him. Flying Thunder God? Yup, he didn't invent it, but he made it terrifying. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Tobirama was all business, zipping across the battlefield, teleporting bombs, and even slapping Jubito in the face with a well-timed truth-seeking orb throw. Dude didn't just fight, he outplayed. His combination of speed, tactics, and sheer arrogance makes him one of the sharpest blades in the Edo arsenal. Compared to Hiruzen, Tobirama is colder, faster, and far more effective. Nagato. Let me be real. Edo Tensei Nagato is a monster. The guy who leveled Konoha? Yeah, he's back, and he doesn't need pain bodies this time. During the war, he takes on KCM Naruto and Killer Bee at the same time. He absorbs chakra, soul rips shinobi, tanks lariats, and keeps going. If it weren't for Itachi's Totsuka blade, Nagato might have turned that battlefield into rubble. Nagato is that boss you hope never shows up in multiplayer raids. Too powerful, too tanky, and just unfair. Minato. Minato Namikaze already had legend status for being the fastest shinobi alive. But in the war, he comes back with Kurama mode, and it's like giving a Lamborghini rocket boosters. He teleports faster than sound, slices through Hubito, and even reacts to Madara. And the best part? He's calm about it. No flash, no ego, just results. With Flying Thunder God plus KCM, Minato becomes a one-man teleportation army. Compared to Itachi, he has less genjutsu, but way more map control and team support. Minato's the kind of shinobi who doesn't need to say much. His speed does all the talking. Itachi. If Nagato is raw power, Itachi is surgical precision. The moment he shows up in the war, things get serious. He outsmarts Naruto, B, defeats Nagato, and shuts down Edo Tensei itself by beating Kabuto. All while being undead. Tsukuyomi for your mind, Amaterasu for your body, Totsuka Blade for your soul, and Yada Mirror for defense. That's a complete kit. And thanks to Edo Tensei, there's no chakra cost. He spams these like jutsu coupons. Not the strongest in raw power, but no one matches his mix of technique, strategy, and flawless execution. Itachi is the shinobi you fear not because he yells, but because he never misses. Like, ever. Madara Uchiha doesn't need an introduction. Once Edo Tensei revived him, it was game over for most of the battlefield. He wiped out entire divisions, dropped meteors like confetti, and smiled through it all. With perfect Susanoo, Rinnegan, and Six Paths powers, Madara became less of a shinobi and more of a god-tier flex machine. He tanked attacks from KCM Naruto, outplayed the 5 Kage, and said, "Is that all?" So why isn't he number 1? Because Hashirama still beat him, multiple times. That rivalry is eternal. Still, Madara showed that Edo Tensei plus genius plus godlike chakra equals total chaos. If you wanted to define broken in Naruto, you just point at Madara and say, yes, him. Hashirama, no debate. Hashirama Senju is the strongest Edo Tensei shinobi. Wood Release, Sage Mode, True Thousand Hands. He literally slapped Madara out of God mode and smiled while doing it. When the 10 Tails rampaged, it was Hashirama who tamed the battlefield. He's the founder of Konoha, the bridge between power and peace, and the only one who could ever keep Madara in check. Unlike others, Hashirama combines immense chakra, high-level strategy, regeneration, and raw power. Even Kabuto and Obito viewed him as a god-tier standard. He's not flashy, he's not cocky, he just shows up, says, "Let's end this," and ends it. Hashirama's power isn't just about jutsu, it's about presence. And in the Edo Tensei army, he's the one standing above them all. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.